young alumni achiever. I test the limits of at least two of those phrases quite a bit here, and that's not the alumni one, okay? So I'm very happy and honored to be here. And I just want to get a quick sense from the audience. How many of you want to be entrepreneurs, potentially? Let's see a raise of hands. Okay, oh, wow, lots of them. Okay, excellent, okay. Then I think I have something to share with you, okay? And I'll get to that real quick. But before that, let me talk a little bit about what does it take. And I'll use what we do at Fractal, how we hire, to give you a little bit of a model to, in your mind, to think about what you should try to do in years. One, and we call this model humble, hungry, smart. And I'll tell you what those three things are. Humble, right? I think on the very first day, like I think somebody shared a day 2 story, I'll share a day 1 story for you. This was, I just landed on campus, got my bags in, and I was in D3. And there was this guy, like 3 rooms away from me, who was a chartered accountant. And the first question he asked me was, I heard that McKinsey doesn't like chartered accountants. Do you know? I was like, I don't even know who McKinsey is, okay? But I mean, I think people come in to campus with a lot of expectation, with tremendous amount of hubris. And I think one of the things that entrepreneurship does, as well as IIMA does to you, is that it shakes out all that ego that's in your head, right? And I mean, I'm sure you've heard this before, but at least half of the people in this room are going to be below the average of the class, right? Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast, right? While we have performed exceedingly well, I think the one thing you will learn on campus is that there are phenomenally bright people everywhere, right? And especially for the engineers, the 71% of the gang who's here who are engineers like me, okay? I graduated from IIT Delhi, and I thought I was just I had the cat's whiskers when I entered campus, right? And if you had told me on the day I came in that, okay, 21 years later, you would be a young alumni achiever, I would have said, 21 years? I should do it in 10, right? Okay, so that was the level of arrogance that I had, okay? But what campus taught me is that the perspective, the diverse perspectives that other people have are phenomenal. You sit in a class and then you hear, you have a case and you start hearing other people's points of view. I mean, you thought you nailed the case, you really understood everything, you had all the answers when you walked in on day 1. And then realize, oh God, I never thought about this. You will see that the diversity of perspectives, whether it's IIMA class or later on in your life, there are lots of those, and they really add value to the way of understanding the world. So please listen, and don't think you have all the answers. Stay humble, because that's really a life lesson. You will always be happy and good for it. Okay, the second thing is hungry. All of you are already very hungry or very driven. Right? Very driven to excel and exceed. Right? So that's, I think, part for the course because you've landed here. But keep that alive as you progress in life. Don't necessarily think that you are, you have all the answers just because you've, and stop learning at some stage. The world of AI is coming, and which we are bringing about, Pranay and I, as Fractal, and generally I think AI is progressing at a very rapid pace. The nature of jobs will change. And I think keeping relevant in the future. I mean, not now, you're learning a lot right now, but a few years from now, you might think, oh, I've learned everything I have to learn. And that's the day decline starts, right? I'll tell you my little story of what happened to me. On my job interview, okay, on placements, I was being interviewed by Dr. Nachiket Moore, who was, as you know, a famous professional. He was head of treasury at the time of ICICI Bank at the time of the interview. And he asked me a question to write a piece of C code. And I was like, of course, I'm from IIT Delhi, I know how to write code. Please don't ask me to write code in an interview. Okay, but he insisted, and I refused. And obviously, he did not select me for ICICI. I failed that interview. But that's the thing I realized, that the 2 years that I had not learned to code, I had not continued to code, I had already deteriorated a little bit, and I think that really hurt me, because I was feeling a little bit that reluctant or lazy to actually write a piece of code, which I could, right? So keep your hunger alive, especially at the world as the world of future of work changes. The third one is about smart. And smart is not intellectual smarts. We all have that. All the people in this room have smarts, right? But people smarts, emotional intelligence, right? And that is something that many people lack when they enter campus, right? That's because we have a distorted sense of our own self-worth. We're not fully self-aware, and it takes a while to actually start seeing other people as people and treat them as one, right? So the most important thing that you can do in 2 years, apart from all the education and everything that you will get, is make friends. There are tremendous people on campus. You will always be friendly with them, and don't make it a zero-sum game. A zero-sum game where your win is somebody else's loss. Unfortunately, very soon in IIMA, everything turns out to be a zero-sum game. Everybody's like, okay, if McKinsey is going to hire 5 people, and if he gets hired, then okay, that's only 4 left, right? So let me do my best to not get him hired. Don't do that. I think make friends, because next 20 years, you're there. That's the network that will help you, and you will help them. So keep that network alive. So stay humble, hungry, and smart, okay? Now, for those people who are entrepreneurs here, real quick advice, don't start a business if you think any of these 3 reasons apply to you. If you think you can make more money. Entrepreneurship, risk-adjusted, doesn't make more money. If you think you will be your own true boss, it will never happen, because in fact, if you're an entrepreneur, everybody in the world, your spouse, your landlord, your team, everyone, your investors, your clients, everybody is going to sit on your head, right? So there's no independence, there's nothing about you being your own. Everybody is your boss. In fact, quite the opposite. And the third reason people start a business sometimes later in life is because they think that it's going to give them control over their time. In fact, entrepreneurship gives you zero control over your time, because you are plugged in 24/7 trying to build a business. So if these are the 3 reasons why you want to start a business, please don't. But if the power of an idea, if there is some problem that you see and you feel the incredible urge to fix that problem and to solve and make the world a better place in some way, and you can't not be an entrepreneur for the next 24 hours, right? Every waking minute you're thinking about that, that's the time you know that you're ready for entrepreneurship. And when you're ready for entrepreneurship, remember these 3 things. 1, entrepreneurship is a story of resilience. It's a story of survival. Every single day there will be challenges. There will be obviously hard knocks to an ego, right? But you have to stay resilient. Eventually, survival is what is important, because of which you will grow, right? 50% of companies shut down in 2 years, 98% of companies shut down in 10 years, and everybody thinks, I'm not going to be that statistic, but that's not true. The statistics actually are valid. So resilience is important. That's 1. 2 is carry your family along. I'm very grateful to my family who supported me. So do take them along. And the last one I'll tell you is a great story. That's of ethical leadership. Okay? I did a course on business ethics by Dr. Deepthi Bhatnagar. Okay? And this was a course which was very pivotal for me, because before that course, I was raised to believe that entrepreneurship and ethics are sort of they don't correlate well with each other. There's no such thing as an honest businessman. It's an oxymoron. That's what I grew up believing, because I saw so much corruption in the world around me. And by the way, the world of corruption is still there. Okay, it's reduced a little bit. But in 1997, when in a class of business ethics, I met with Professor Dr. Narayan Murthy, who is the founder of Infosys. I saw a man who had built a company which was powered by intellect and driven by values. Right? It was a phenomenal company. It was the reason why I thought entrepreneurship is possible. It triggered the sense of entrepreneurship in me. And after that, I've been, 2 years later, I was an entrepreneur. But I think what I will tell you, all the people who want to be entrepreneurs or not want to be entrepreneurs, remember that there's still a real dearth of ethical leadership in our country. And do not fall for those small little compromises, because eventually they become really big and really hurt you. So whatever happens, stay ethical on campus and after that for the rest of your lives, because that is eventually what will make you a successful person, but who can also sleep well at night. Thank you.